Hi, this is Robert Merritt with a video I shot while in Germany at the Nurburg GP track, taking a Formel training that they give twice a year there. There was a group of 24 people, mostly German speaking, really only one other gentleman named Omar from Egypt. The first part of the training is really just a check to see if you know how to brake and shift the car, which I had trouble with. I'll explain more in a minute. There were three groups of 8 cars each, and in this couple clips you'll see us going around the pit wall in backwards direction, and you can see it's pretty wet. We actually have the treaded rain tires on at this point, and it was slippery and tricky. The car that I own has it's an 85 with a H-shift pattern Hewling gearbox where you just rev match. You don't really use the clutch to shift. This car is a more modern Formula BMW with a 6-speed sequential gearbox, and it's a standard, but what seems odd is you shift up in gears by pulling back on the stick, and you go down in gears by pushing forward. That takes a little getting used to. And then it's got 6 speeds and 8,000 RPM, so you're shifting a lot, and it's pretty difficult to match the revs downshifting, so it's best to use the clutch going down. So that's what I was practicing here at this point in the video, and it's pretty awkward. I'm messing it up, but I did okay. And in fact, everyone did okay. And so the next session is to go out behind a BMW M3 behind an instructor to help learn. And again, they're just kind of checking to make sure we know what we're doing. I'm actually having my doubts at this point that this is going to be very much fun, because it starts out very slow, as you'll see here in a minute, and apparently that was on purpose. They moved me over to the side and put me at the back. They had reviewed our histories, and apparently I was one of the quicker ones in this group, so they put me at the back. Anyway, you'll see it starts out kind of slow, but we rotate up so that we end up right behind the instructor. I think I'm behind Andy here in a few minutes. This shot is of the first couple corners, and as you can tell, we're going pretty slow, and I'm thinking, well, on rain tires, it's looking pretty dry, but boy, this is a little bit slower than I hoped we might be doing. In the next clips here, you'll see there's just one car in front of me, and then the silver BMW, and we're going a little bit quicker, and then you'll see part of the lap that I do, and right behind Andy, and you'll see it's quite quick. And if you have a big screen, or if you look real close, when I'm behind Andy, behind the silver car, you'll see that he's pushing it really hard, and the tail's kicking out on him in almost every corner. And in fact, as you would expect, me and this little Formula car, I'm taking it pretty easy, trying not to run over him in the corners. It's got a lot of horsepower, the thing, over 400 horsepower, so he's pulling away a little bit here on the straights, but it's kind of cool. But again, I'm thinking, well, I hope we're not going to do guided all along. Actually, somebody had mentioned that we were going to do free sessions after lunch or whatever, so I'm thinking this might actually be fun. By free lessons, I mean, nobody in front of us, just practicing. And I'm expecting with no passing, though, that they wouldn't want us to do that much. As it turns out, they're going to let us do passing, and at 3 or 4 different places on the track. Not in the corners. They want to. A lot of differing abilities here, so on the straightaways I'll get the pass. The next little clip is actually a map of the track, and it's just the GP section of the track. The part we run on is called the DTM, and if you look at the little yellow arrow right there, that's where we just turned to shorten the track up, so we don't do the portion to the left of the yellow arrow. And then up here on the right, later on, you'll see that chicane. I'll make a little bit of a tank slapper, have to catch it. This is back to the follow me lap where I'm following Andy, and as you look real close, you'll see him getting sideways right there. and again a little bit coming out of here. This is the fast back straight down to the chicane, where later on I'll mess up a little bit. So anyway, it's looking pretty good. I'm hoping they're going to put dry tires on, and sure enough, we take a break. We go in and talk. That's Peter there, who's very quick, and he's got the radio, and he's telling me and Omar, you know, what to expect here when we go back out on dry tires. And so this is shots of me getting in with the dry tires. You can see. Oh, that one's the rain tires. Just a different photo. So this clip is the dry lap that I was getting to do right before launch on dry tires, and I'm starting to get a little more familiar with the car and pretty comfortable in it. I think this lap's about a 145. We didn't really time ourselves while we were in the cars, not really supposed to, but just looking at the video clocks, you know, afterwards, and then later on in the day, some of the guys from different groups were timing each other. So I timed one of the fast guys in Group 1, who got down to about a 144, 145, and then he timed me later, and that's how I know I got down in the 143s, and also from the video. So let's see here. So this is the back stretch going on to the front. Not going down to the front, going down to the chicane, and then the final turn and onto the front straight. After the video clip from the GoPro here and turning onto the front straight, we'll switch to an exterior view, and it's actually from the hotel. And so if you see this building right here on the right, now coming to my left, just about 3 rooms in from the end there, that's where our hotel room was. And for the whole 3 days, 2 days, 2.5, 3 days we were here, I get to watch the track below. And so this next shot is from the hotel room, and it'll kind of give you an idea of the beautiful castle right outside the window, and then that final turn where we're coming on. The cars you see here are just people who decided to come up for the tourist day. I think this is a day later or so, this clip. And certain periods of certain days, you just go up and swipe your credit card basically and drive on the track and start running. We saw a Ferrari there. You'll see some Porsches. I saw a Suzuki bread truck running around, an SUV with a family of 4 in it. Just people come down, swipe the card, and on the racetrack they go. But anyway, pretty cool view of the track here, the front straight. That white wall there in the middle, that's the pit wall we were going around in the rain when we were doing our shifting and braking. So you're going to see a clip of the track and
number 5 and car number 3, please paying attention, only the first roll. Here comes your light.
So pretty cool to watch the lights come on and go out and start, make that start. As you probably could hear, I missed second gear, kind of hacked up the start. This is Omar, the young Egyptian. He thought he was pretty fast, and I thought he was too. But as you can see, I caught him already by the second corner, even with the poor start. And now I'm really just kind of waiting to pass him in one of the areas that they wanted us to do that in. Also, you might notice here a couple little drops of water that comes into play after about 3-4 laps here. I do get some good ones in, and I think what we're about to see is me just pass him, and I think he's gonna try to follow me from previous discussions and instructor stuff, but truth is he can't really keep up, he tells me later. So I'll pass him right here, and then I'll get in a couple nice laps here, and then we'll pick up with the rain. There's one more external video clip coming here in a moment here to reinforce or prove that I was very pleased that I was faster than all of the other drivers, all 22 of the German drivers and Omar too. So I'll switch us back to NATO audio again here now.
Okay, come in here. Sorry. I think one of those is Robert,
it's
right?
Robert, yes.
Okay.
I think behind is Robert.
Okay.
Next round is Robert. Next lap.
Did he lap?
Next lap is in
Robert is fastest.
So that was Carrie Ann in the tower with some other folks, and we thought it was really funny. We didn't know she caught that gentleman, I don't know his name, from Group 2, saying that I was fastest, but we got a big kick out of that, as you can imagine, and of course I had to include it in the video. So as I mentioned, I get a couple of fairly quick laps in, and one of the Group 1 drivers, the fastest guy from that group, came up to me afterwards and told me I was doing 1:43, 1:44s. So I think most of this lap is just one of the quick ones, and the dry here as it's starting to rain. After that, after this lap, you'll see some spins and people on the side of the track, and you'll see the rain picking up. And so what I really enjoyed about the whole event is, as you saw from earlier in the video, is I got to go out and pretty good rain on rain tires and see how slippery that was, and then drive in the rain on the rain tires as the track was drying, and then on dry tires on the dry track, and then here, as we're about to see, dry tires on a track that's starting to get wet. So it was really great training, and I'm looking forward to going to Indy, and I feel like I'll be a lot more comfortable there, since this is really the first time I ever drove a race car in the rain. So this is the end of the quote fairly quick lap. I think this lap itself was actually about 1:45, 1:44, I forget. Everybody was getting a kick because I was waving to my wife as I'm going by. I guess everybody else was too busy to do that. And so let's see what's happening on this next clip here. Yeah, here we go. We shifted. I think this is the start of the spins here. Oh, no. This is right before the rain is really starting. You can see it's just a couple drops, but it's already getting slick on these dry tires, and so you can watch whoever this is in front of me. He's going to wiggle a little bit pretty hard right here. Kind of scared me. I thought he was going to get right in front of me. And then he wiggles out of the next turn, and he actually just says, you know what, I can't handle this, and he moves over and waves me by. So the next clip, I think, will be down in turn 1. Yeah. Oh, actually, this is me doing my little tank slapper here. Peter, he told me that if it started raining, to stay off of that curb. You saw me just go over. That's in that chicane. He said, don't get on that in the wet. He was right. So, lessons learned. This clip is, I think, of somebody spinning out right down there in that same chicane. Yep, there he is. He actually spun under braking before going in, and I just waved to let him know I saw him. This is turn 1. Another gentleman's spun out, and now the rain is really starting to pick up. Doesn't seem that evident here in the video, but all these other cars that are spun out, there's a couple drops of rain coming now, you can see. And then here's me going down the back stretch. Again, more raindrops on the thing. It doesn't look like much, but it was from this view, but it was getting wet again. And I think this is probably just the end. Me following this guy around, and the drops are really coming. I think they're talking in the radio in German, and nope, that guy's still sitting there. And so I figured out that, you know, they're going to stop us, and I think I hear in English finally I come into the pits, so I jump in here and call it a day. You'll be able to tell here as I switch to the native audio that I had a great time. Yep, that was a little woo from having so much fun out there, both from passing everybody and from sliding around in the rain. As always, got to thank Carrie Ann for her patience, and we'll reward her with a crazy dinner at the castle tomorrow night. Thank you.